Welcome back to another episode of Down in 216. Hosted by your boy Will here, man. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling today? As we get into another interesting video topic. So I wanted to go through and talk about the preseason game. As y'all know, Dylan Gabriel had his preseason debut. And with that being said, let's talk about how he looked, compare and contrast to, the other quarterbacks in the room and give us an overall analysis. So he came out pretty hot, but I would say he, was completing his passes. It looked like all of his passes was kind of the first read. For better or for worse, but he was completing his passes. He looked like he was running the offense pretty well in the way that Kevin wanted them to run it. So Kevin was putting them in pretty good positions. Now, I don't know how that will be against another team when you got to, when they got to play the sticks and they're playing close up and not really giving you, short yardage gains and, and they're playing man. I don't know how that's going to be. It's going to be might be a little bit more of a struggle if they just was to jump in a man. It looked like they was playing some zone and was getting hit. But I don't know. I could be wrong. I could just be talking out of hearsay. So I don't want to just, lead with that. But regardless, or better or for worse, he was hitting his reads. His reads was the first read. Kevin Stefanski, like I said, was putting him in great position. He came out well. And then we got to the second quarter. They came down, got a rushing touchdown drive. Came out second quarter, threw a pick six. So that's when everything went down the hill. As the game went on from first possession to second to third to fourth, he got worse and worse, I would say. I'm not going to be too critical on him, though, because he was better than what I would think we expected, honestly. And I wouldn't say he wasn't bad. I wouldn't give him like a D or even a C minus, honestly. I'd probably give him like maybe like a C plus, B minus. It's kind of hard to excuse the pick six because the pick six is like a F and the first quarter was an A. So, well, he didn't really get no touchdowns, but he still had a rushing drive. So the first quarter was like an A minus. Second quarter was like a D minus. So yeah, I say it was like a C plus C. I give him, and I think that's better than Kenny Pickett. I'll say that. I think Kenny Pickett can pack his bags. I said that before and we have people sent over here really saying that Kenny Pickett was going to be a starter on this team, which is outlandish, I would say. Like, we really got people over here saying Kenny Pickett was going to start over Joe Flacco, Shedeur Sanders. He's not even better than Dylan Gabriel. So I'm not as mad about the pick as I was. Looking back at it, I was pretty upset with the pick. If he wasn't capable of being a starter, NFL quarterback, he looked like he is like a good backup. That's what my analysis was on him. That's what I thought he was capable of being. I didn't think he was going to be hot garbage. But right now, he looked like he'd be a pretty decent backup. Like, he wouldn't have the sky falling from having Dylan Gabriel out there. I don't think at no point in this season, for better or for worse, this team is going to have the sky falling at quarterback. You got Joe Flacco. You got Shedeur as soon as Joe Flacco start messing up. And if Shedeur gets to acting trash, you got Dylan Gabriel. And Dylan Gabriel still give you some hope that you could, be competent and be decent, and be able to get through the season with a quarterback that's not going to just, lose you games, but you're not going to win any with him. And I think that it's going to lead you to end up drafting a QB next year regardless anyway. So I don't really think it's going to matter. So I think it's going to all play out pretty well. I know a lot of people is taking this a certain type of way to say they think this and they think that. We got to remember, y'all, he only played 2 quarters. And he had the ball the whole entire first quarter and only scored 1 touchdown. So it's not too impressive. You could say it's against the Eagles, but it is their backups, regardless of if it's the world champions or not. It's their backups. So we got to be honest about what we're talking about, because if it was Shedeur, we will immediately talk about how it's the twos. So let's be a little real here. I didn't really see him going too much through his progressions as well. But like I said, I do think he's better than Kenny Pickett. He probably got a stronger arm than Kenny Pickett. I just like him a little more than Kenny. I'd rather have him develop out there and see if he could get something done and, not have no film out on him. And he's already good within the system. rather than having Kenny Pickett out there. So I think Kenny just needs to get traded or whatever. I know it's a lot of quarterbacks getting hurt, so they just need to trade him for a 7th and call it a day. I know they wanted to get something for DTR, but this video is sponsored by Detrimental Figures, my brand here. As y'all see, some of the quality of my recent work. You get a signature tag on it as well. You know, we make and really emphasize quality over quantity. So, you know, we try to take and make sure we use the best materials to come up with our shirts and the best designs. Make sure y'all following us on Instagram, Detrimental Figures. So y'all can also get the description down below and hit the link for a shirt. Everything I drop is limited edition. So unfortunately, this shirt is sold out. I don't have any more, but I have different things coming up similar to it. So keep in mind, and I'll keep you guys updated with some of my new stuff throughout these videos coming up. DTR isn't an NFL player. He's not. DTR is ass. DTR is terrible. And I've been telling y'all that for years. And now people on the Eagles is just now starting to see it. So, you know, DTR was a horrible pick in the first place. You're trying to get something out of that, just cut him or trade him for a 7th round pick and call it a day, to be honest. Like, it is what it is. You developed and got one with Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. It's okay. You know, he's not needed here, though. Like, he would just be here just to be because. So I would trade Kenny Pickett for cash or a 7th round or a box of snacks, and I'd call it a day and just try to get him off this roster. I'll try not to cut him, but I don't see him making a 53-man roster, to be honest with y'all. I think he's the least talented quarterback. He's not better than Joe Flacco. He's not better than Shedeur Sanders, and he's not better than Dylan Gabriel. So I do think Dylan Gabriel for sure earned himself QB3 for sure. And I think he definitely earned himself a roster spot if that was ever a question in mind. But, you know, I don't think it was. But if you think Shedeur could get cut, you think Dylan Gabriel could get cut. So I think Dylan Gabriel definitely earned himself a roster spot and showed some promise, honestly. You know, he did show some promise. He wasn't horrible. And I think the fact that he wasn't horrible is what you can sell yourself on. But I still don't think it's no better than the player that he is. Like, we talking about a quarter of football we like, y'all. Like, we got to think this is the quarterback position. He could have threw another pick in the 3rd quarter. Like, we don't know. Like, we don't know, y'all. Now, if he would have had 250 yards with 2 interceptions, like, we wouldn't really want him out there. So, at the end of the day, it's going to all have to get played out. So, but I do think it was just puts us in the same scenario we really been in, y'all. So, y'all comment down below how y'all feel. Let's get a grade in the comment section. What would you grade Dylan Gabriel, man? Hit that like and subscribe button on our road to 400 subscribers. Just trying to grow this channel. We've been recently getting a lot more subscribers, so I appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Make sure y'all follow me on my social media pages just so y'all stay in tune. I post every single day if I don't post on here. So, love y'all. Appreciate y'all always, you know, appreciate all the support for everybody. And I'm out.